The big question, this is a big one, is how do you all get along in the RV? 5 people, 2 dogs.
Space.
We did surprisingly well.
Yeah, it was one of our concerns because we didn't know how we were going to get along. We'd always been camping. 4 weeks was our biggest one.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a trial run. But that's, even at 4 weeks, that's still different than
Forever.
There's no end in sight. And you have to just manage it no matter how bad things get. And so I was worried that things, could get with the kids not having their own
space,
their own bedrooms, their own places to get away, with us not having really a place to get away. How are we going to get along with each other?
So yeah, so RVing and building relationships or maintaining relationships, and how does that work? So I think one of the big things I learned was how to make quality time out of downtime, or kind of those boring times. Because let's face it, when you're full-time RVing, you spend a lot of time on the road, you're just hanging out, you're driving along, 1,000 miles here, 1,000 miles there. And we drive separately, so that meant Brian and Alex and one of the twins would be in the RV all the time, and myself and one of the other twin would be in the car.
So we couldn't even get that quality time of talking together like I love so much.
I know.
So we don't get that opportunity.
It's a huge disappointment that we don't get that.
Right.
But we do with the kids. And so we found that just taking those boring times, and you don't have to be full-time RVing, just living in a house or whatever, those times that you're just sitting around waiting at the doctor's office or driving down the road to a practice or lesson or something like that. We learned to make the most of those downtimes, and we'd sit and talk. Or
discuss some ideas for what you want to do, a month, 2 months down the road.
Or researching something on the internet. A lot of times if I was driving, I'd say to McKenna, like, oh, we wanted to look up about such and such. So she'd be researching on the internet, reading me things. We found we could get a lot done. It gave myself and, the twins just some quality time together that I normally would never spend time alone with just Jared or just McKenna. I don't think ever really, because I was always around all of the kids.
Always running from here to there.
So it gave us a lot of time, and I've really enjoyed that. So that's been one of my biggest takeaways from the first 9 months. What about you, honey?
Well, I think how well we adapted to living in the small space, because I was concerned about that. We don't always get along. The kids don't always get along, even at the house. But at the house, the kids they can go off to their room. With the RV, you can't really get away. So
no.
But I'm very pleasantly surprised with how flexible everyone has been and able to, adapt and get along. Because we just kind of, by necessity, you have to address the issues when they first happen. You can't really wait because you're right there together. So we've gotten real good at, if some issue comes up, it doesn't happen often.
You have to take care of it right
away.
You
just kind of talk about it right away and say, look, this is what our expectation is or something, and let's try to do this differently next time. This isn't working. And you can kind of head things off at the pass a little bit, because you can you're around each other so much more often. You can see things maybe brewing and kind of address them before they turn into a big blowout. Back when we had the house, some issue would happen 2 or 3 rooms away.
Yeah.
And by the time we even knew about it, it was just full-blown.
This is not a traveling with dogs video. You need to remove yourself from the premises.
Dogs get along with everybody.
All right, so Jared, what was your favorite part of 9 months of full-time RVing, besides spending quality time with his mom
and dad?
He loves us.
Best part, sisters.
So really, so what was your favorite part?
Probably mountain biking, all the outdoor activity you can do. It's a lot different when you're doing everything in different places, then it's not just like one place.
That's profound.
I know.
It's not just one place, it's different places.
Mountain biking and hiking were a little bit better in
Colorado than they are in Pennsylvania.
Because I'm sure if you were going on the same trail in Colorado a lot, it would get, it would get the same.
Right, you want to see something new and different.
You get to mountain biking
because
everywhere.
We're in a new, different place every
you find
couple
a new
weeks.
mountain.
You find new mountains.
What was the not fun part? Well, it wasn't even mountain biking.
Bike crash.
Now to say what the super risky thing that you were
super
doing.
risky, extreme biking on the asphalt.
Flat, smooth asphalt.
I know, it's
just a paved road.
dangerous.
But there was a little bump.
Yeah, there's a bump.
And that's what he must have hit. He crashed, knocked couple of teeth out.
They're back. They grew back.
Yeah, we had them. Yeah,
they grew back.
Had them built back up.
The neat thing about that was, it was as bad as the crash was, and it was scary at first when he came back. With family relationships, it was great because Alex, his little sister, who he always picks on, and
they always kind of clash and fight.
Yes.
Served me pudding.
So, she waited on him hand and foot.
She was so worried about him, and she was waiting on him for the whole time he wasn't able to eat, the harder, crunchier foods and stuff. She was getting him applesauce and pudding, and
she would go out shopping for him. She's like, Jared, don't do anything. If you need anything, just tell me. So he got better really quick because he had such good care from his little sister.
Yeah.
And that is something we would have never seen, and I mean like never, unless he got like pretty hurt. Okay,
now it's Alexandra's turn. So what was your favorite
She's in the hot
part?
seat.
Boating. And feel free to say, if it's just me, everything involved with me, just say that. That's
boating in Colorado.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
For my birthday.
Yeah,
I got to drive the boat for like a minute.
Yeah, she drove. She was good at it. And we went boating on the Blue Mesa Reservoir.
Yep.
Yeah, Gunnison, Colorado.
Mm-hmm. She did a much better job of driving the boat than Daddy, because Daddy stalled the boat.
I stalled the boat. My hat
and
blew
lost
off.
His hat. Oh, there's the hat. It's about to go under. Grab it, grab it, grab it, grab it, grab it. Yay! The reason we went on that was for your birthday, and that was her birthday present. And that's something we've learned with full-time RVing, with building relationships, is that we have chosen experiences and memories over things. So nowadays, instead of getting them stuff that would just sit around, started doing experiences, right? So the boat ride was for her birthday. It was a little pricier than we wouldn't just do it probably just regular, but that's one thing we've learned with RVing, is that we're all about making memories, having experiences with the kids rather than getting them stuff.
Right, so she'll have that memory now forever. But she has a nice video, a nice little edited video about
thanks
it.
to McKenna.
Thanks to McKenna, and so we can look back at that and always just remember that great family time that we had together.
My favorite thing is all the neat pictures and video that I can get, because full-time being across the country kind of lends itself to really good landscapes and scenery. Like one week, me and Mom were getting up every morning to watch the sunrise and get really cool pictures and B-roll to use in videos.
Let's point out that that was later in the fall before the time change, so sunrise wasn't until like 7:25, but that was really cool. And
we got some cool pictures. That's
we did. We have some great sunrise pictures. That was from the Atlantic coast of Florida. That's one of the things we've done on this journey, or this whole trip, is we found shared interests, like things that maybe when we were living at the house we didn't really realize. And so like McKenna and we didn't realize how similar we are with the photography and the video, and we would do some of that when we lived at the house, but being in these unique places, and we find that we really think alike and share a lot of ideas. And so there's shared interests in things, because I know Jared and Brian have been doing lots of bonding over like figuring out where the leak is in the black tank, and some of those those electrical
really
issues.
Fun bonding.
Finding sewer tank leak. It's good bonding. We replaced the batteries, the coach batteries, with lithium batteries, and I had to do some reading up to figure out what I was even doing. But when it came time to install them, Jared was right there helping me. We went to the hardware store together and told him how to pick out which material of bolt to get, and the sizes, and the gauge of the wires and all that stuff. So he's learning a great deal about all the RV systems, and we're doing that stuff together, and that's the best part.
And yeah, you can do that stuff at home, and you did some of that stuff at home. I think it just, you notice it more when you're in the RV, because again, you are together all the time, and if Brian's working on something, Jared's right there. Like there's no alternative to being right there. So whether you're full-time RVing or you're still living at home in a house or an apartment or someplace stationary like that, the things we learned are takeaways that you can do wherever. First was the bonding over shared interests. Find interests that you have with your kids or your mom or your cousin or whoever it is. Find those common interests and build your relationship on that. The second one,
enjoy the downtime, the spaces in between the activities that maybe would have been wasted time, but find ways to either enjoy it more or make it productive time, or just spend time with each other.
Third one would be make the most of those bad times. They always say that you build the stronger personality, and it builds your character when you go through the rough times. And I think that is true. And it also is a good time to build those relationships. Another thing is, when you aren't getting along, work through those issues right away. Don't waste time. Don't let those issues become bigger. You know, most issues start out pretty small, and we found if you talk about them right away and you work through them right away, then they're gone, instead of sitting there and simmering and
don't brush them under the
worse.
carpet and deal with them later.
And finally, we're gonna remove a dog first. And finally, and I think this is the biggest thing, and one of the reasons that we did start full-time RVing, was
experiences over stuff. We've just found that it's so much more valuable in the long run to have experiences and making memories together.
We found we have not missed any of the tons and tons and tons of stuff that we have gotten rid of in the last 10 months. We have not missed any of it. I can honestly say that. There's not one thing that I missed that we got rid of, and yet we have so many memories and so many experiences, and all of them on great videos that McKenna did for us, but that means so much more. Okay, so that's just some of the ways that we have found to build relationships and make our relationships better with our family over the past few months. If you have things that you love to do with your family and great ideas, share those down below in the tips and comments. Meanwhile, this will be the last
of the 5-part series that we did on top things you need to know for full-time RV living.
That's right.
We have a playlist with all 5 videos, so check those out.
And if there's something we didn't cover and you would like us to cover it in a future video, let us know and we will try to do that for you.
Okay, we look forward to hearing from you in a comment section. Leave us a comment and hit the subscribe button to follow along with our journey and join us and start living your someday now.